Commanders, welcome back to the port on a new series I'm doing where I spotlight tech tree ships. Here's the Russian Tier 4 Podvoisky, the Commander Anton Gurin. We're doing a concealment build. As you can see, Swirsky and Bay. We've got quick fix. Look at me now. We're going to get rid of Piercer and put glass cannon on. I just think it's a better skill at lower tiers. We did select Smoke on the Water, and we have Unstoppable, as always, as our legendary skill. All right, let's look at the upgrade. Main battery mod 2. These Russian destroyers have a very long turret traverse. And as you can see, the pod is fully upgraded. Got 2 smoke generators, 2 engine boosts. We do have the common battle booster for speed, the temporary Type 1 camo, and the early adopter flag. 12,060 hit points with this build. Our guns reload in 8.5 seconds. They turn in 19.6 seconds. HE shells do 1,900 damage with an 8% fire chance. The AP shells do 2,500 damage. They do fire out to 11.5 kilometers. In theory, you wouldn't need to fire them that far. I guess it's nice to have, but here at the lower tiers, I don't think you're going to be doing a lot of kiting and fighting in these ships. But I do want to note the reload of this destroyer is especially long. So I'm going to put Trubetskoy in there. It's 7.8 with Trubetskoy, so it does go down a little bit. We'll put 1,000 cuts on, and it drops to 7.1. So you lose 1 4/10 of 1 second by making that change. However, that's why I use Gurin in here, because this reload is almost twice as long as any other tech tree destroyer tier 3 and above in the Russian line. All right, so we go back to the stats. So that's why we use that 8.5. You know, the Itzislav is 4 point something. The Gnevi is 4 point something. The Minsk is 4 point something. You know, torpedoes, you have a relatively quick reload, 70 seconds. They do double damage of the Itzislav. The Itzislav 7233 in our build. These are doing 14.4, but they only have a range of 4 kilometers. Maximum speed 43.3 knots with that speed boost flag and a 2.9 second rudder shift time. Detectability 5.2 surface, 3.1 air, 2.5 when firing in smoke. So essentially, I think I've made my case as to why you want to use Gurin instead of Trubetskoy. You know, Trubetskoy, you're going to get a slightly shorter reload. Is it worth the trade-off? I don't think it is. And again, don't know why this is the outlier in the tech tree in terms of that reload. I'm sure it all amounts to balance, because you couldn't offer a satisfactory explanation otherwise, because the next ship on the tree using the exact same guns has almost half the reload time. All right, we're here on Estuary in a domination match. Oh, and let's see. We are near the A spawn, so I'm not in the middle spawn. That's already a success. All right. I believe I'm going to go in here and look at the teams. There we are. Estuary domination match. We are top tier. There is an aircraft carrier, and there is 1 enemy destroyer. All right. So, I mean, all in all, this is pretty good. If it didn't have an aircraft carrier, I guess it would be even better, but I'm not going to complain. And I hope this match will be a good illustration of why I think Gurin is the right commander for this destroyer. You know, there are other destroyers I would use Gurin on. I would definitely use him on the Dursky, the tier 2. I would use him on the Gremyashi, the ship that he appeared in first, because it was the first Russian destroyer in the game. I think you make a strong case for using him in the Leningrad with a concealment build. I think you could also make a case to use him in the Tashkent with a concealment build. However, I do not recommend him for any of the other destroyers, including the Kaba. To me, in my mind, those are all gunboats, and those need Trubetskoy. All right, so we are moving here into Alpha. I can see someone has twisted track or some other kind of locating device on. If the commander of the enemy destroyer is using Takeo Kurita, it is twist and track, and so he was going to outspot me anyway. Twist and track is just salt on the wound, so we're not trying to outspot the Mitsuki. I mean, that would just be idiotic. All right, here's a Karlsruhe. I am going to shoot at the Karlsruhe. He's full broadside, hoping to start a fire and either get him to burn a damage con or maybe inspire my teammates to kill the Karlsruhe. Neither of those things happens. Well, maybe somebody else did shoot at him. As you can see, the enemy aircraft carriers already singled us out, so that's pretty smart play. Although we do have an Arkansas on our team, and I think the Arkansas has no AA whatsoever. So I don't know, maybe it's just me. Yes, it's important for the aircraft carrier commander to target a destroyer, but if you have a powerful battleship, even down tier like the Arkansas with no AA whatsoever, why wouldn't you take him out? Those questions shall remain unanswered. I did locate that rock. I thought I was actually going to miss that little sea feature, land feature in the middle of the water there, but I did not. So basically another typical match. All right, here's an Emile Bertin. Apologies to anyone who is from France and heard that. And again, we're still spotted, so I have no reason to try to hide here. However, he does slip out of our gun range, so we're going to let our guns go dark. You can our concealment drop back down to 5.2, and we're just heading in between Alpha and Bravo towards Charlie. There's the enemy destroyer on the other side of the map, essentially, very far away. So I'm not going to try to pursue him. I do have torpedo planes coming at me, so that is a concern. Also, that there are at least 2 or 3 cruisers over here is a big concern. There's the Svietlana, the Karlsruhe, Emile Bertin. I mean, the whole party. We're shooting at the Karlsruhe because I feel that I would have been spotted anyway by the airplane at that point. We do set him on fire. And out of the corner of my eye, I don't know if I noticed it during the match, but I do see the aircraft carrier in the replay. More on that later. So we are continuing to shoot at the Svietlana. I want to say right here, I set him on fire for the second time. Yep. And we're dodging, getting very lucky with our good rudder shift. And that is the end of the Svietlana, including the last salvo, which we also dodged. All right, I don't intend to pursue the Emile Bertin simply because I'm spotted, and I think even though he is close to death, he would really tear me up. So we are headed towards Charlie. The torpedo or HE bombs are directly overhead. They're missing, thankfully. We have shot down a couple of the airplanes. I'm very happy about that. Our AA is negligible at best. Still better than nothing. Here is the Karlsruhe, our old friend, so we're going to start shooting at him. You can see more airplanes are falling. I must have the guys who actually practiced shooting down airplanes. We switch armor piercing because he is in close range. Here's the Rhine. I'm going to launch a couple of salvos of torpedoes at the Rhine. I'm going to turn to get as many guns as possible on the Karlsruhe. I don't think his aim is that great. We do get a Citadel, desperately hoping for a reload, smoke up and break. Get another Citadel on the Karlsruhe. I don't know if damaging the rudder made us less easy to hit with those torpedoes, but I bet it did. We were backing up and turning while we do it to get and keep all guns on the broadside, and that is the end of the Karlsruhe. I don't know if we were not at an ideal angle to get more citadels or we were not aiming at the back of the ship. Here's the Rhine. I'm going to try one salvo of HE at the Rhine and not really see what I'm hoping for, so I'm switching to armor piercing. And remember, Gurin's base trait increases the armor penetration of those AP shells. And there you go, 3 citadels. And we're getting another reload. And that time we get 4 citadels and destroy the Rhine. I will give kudos to that guy. Normally, the aircraft carriers are at the back of the map. So at least he was trying to do something in this match by moving forward. All right, so right now I'm really ecstatic with how this match is going. I believe right here I'm going to switch my shell type as I come out of the smoke cloud. I'm looking for that white outline, and there's the real ship, the Massachusetts, or the the Massachusetts, the Wyoming. He was just there before we threw up our smoke screen. Kind of forgot where he was at, and located him. And we were shooting HE at him, and I'm just trying to get close enough to engage him with these torpedoes. And the Wyoming is going to do something that I did earlier in this match, and something that I've done several times that I really sympathize with. I think he's basically going to lock himself into a terrain feature here, because he is more concerned about me than he is about driving. He really should be concerned about driving. If you're in a battleship and you're trying to get away from a destroyer, literally the worst thing you can do is lock yourself into an outcropping of land like that, where you can't easily move forward or backwards. So obviously, I am going to torp out one close and one widespread in case he manages to get away. But you can look, he is not getting away. I don't even think he is trying to get any forward or backward movement. And there would be no reason to, because that is our 4th kill. Devastating strike and a high caliber. Now there's one ship left. They're capturing Bravo. And he came looking for a fight. Well, Mr. Mutsugi, you are going to get one. And check out the rudder shift. Maybe not the dexterity of a French destroyer or anything, but the pod is getting it done. Look at that turn. We get all 5 guns on target. HE loaded. It is only seconds before we unleash the Kraken and end the match. All right, we get some of those steel supplies. 20 years from now, I get that Missouri. All right, 95,505 515 damage. I'm not a professional. It's okay. 5 kills, 9 citadels, 8 airplanes shot down, a devastating strike, a high caliber, the Kraken unleashed, and over 250,000 silver. We also had 89 hits with our main battery. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Even though we didn't have a ton of torpedo hits, for me, Gurin is the right commander for the pod due to its long reload. You can see here we are top of the board, 2469 base XP, those 5 big kills. Nobody on the enemy team can compare. I hope you've enjoyed this spotlight of the Russian tech tree destroyer Podvoisky. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more slightly above average World of Warships Legends reviews.